Hey there, folks. Jason Wright, the Improve Always and Always guy and host of the Jason Wright Show. All right, so I came across a video from James Smith. If you don't know who James Smith is a personal trainer. He is based in Australia. He's from the UK, and he's pretty well known on Instagram as just being a straight shooter and dropping a lot of C words, which is see you next Tuesday. There's a little abbreviation for it there. And he's very direct. He's funny. He's got a great personality, great sense of humor. And he's not everybody's flavor, but I happen to not only find him entertaining, but also the dude is chock full of wisdom. He's a very bright guy. He's a very good personal trainer. And he had a video that came out that I thought put forth a lot of wisdom about this idea of trying to reach perfect optimization. You know, so often we get so wrapped up in trying to reach this standard of perfection that we forget that we're actually trying to live a happy and balanced life, right? I mean, it's one thing to always strive for greatness, always be trying to improve and better ourselves. But if we're doing that at the expense of actually living a rich and fulfilling and happy life, then we're kind of doing it wrong. I remember Ben Greenfield talking about this one time back whenever he was an all-natural bodybuilder. He said, you know what, look, I would get my body fat percentage down to like 3%. He said, but I also didn't want to get up off the couch, had no libido, no sex drive whatsoever, was miserable, starving, had headaches, was dehydrated. That is no way to live. So if we're trying to get the six-pack abs, trying to get the VO2 max over 50, trying to get our waistline shrunk to a certain level and yet not living our life, well, then we're doing it wrong. Somewhere there has to be a happy medium. And then the really cool thing I like about this video is when James starts talking about inputs that are essentially behaviors. It's not about constantly obsessing over that final outcome, that grand aspiration. That's just going to make us always miserable because guess what? We're never going to reach perfection. But if instead we just focus on those small behaviors. It's kind of like what BJ Fogg talks about in the BJ Fogg behavior model. If we can just do those smallest little things and add those into our daily lives and then figure out how to make those behaviors, then all of a sudden it's not working out. It's just behaving in the way we are naturally, but we're not so obsessed with this element of perfection. So here is the video where I think James just nailed this concept very, very well.
Imagine a spectrum, whatever process, training, nutrition, sleep, you're going to sit somewhere on this spectrum. And my job as a personal trainer is to optimize those processes. But here's the thing that no one's really telling you. Down here, where everything's optimized to its best and fullest potential, is fucking shithouse. To be fully optimal with your diet means no pizza or burgers. Fuck that. To be fully optimized with perfect sleep means no alcohol ever. Fuck that. Even to have the fully optimized physique. You think that having the optimal physique would make you happy without thinking about the amount of things that make you happy you would have to give up to obtain it. It's paradoxical. It's an oxymoron. Stop being a moron. This zone here is Didier dogshit. The perfect sweet spot for the majority of people is here. And the majority of you know this already. I've worked with CEOs who are like, James, I want to get fucking shredded. I'm like, yeah, let's put you in a deficit, get your weight training, clear up your diet a bit. Then eventually they lose a bit of weight, but about 2 kilograms of fat away from the six pack, they're struggling a bit. Because the life they like to live and the goals and ambitions they have, butt heads. And eventually they go, do you know what? Maybe we'll park the six pack. I feel better, got better sex drive. I feel good that I'm lifting my weights. I still want to go for beers at the weekend. I knew the whole time that's where the CEO was going to go. Housewives, single mothers, young entrepreneurial women, whatever it is, they come to me, they go, James, I'd like to have no fat on my thighs. And I'm like, okay, cool. What do? High protein diet, get them weight training, get them hitting a step count, all of these things. Again, 10 months into their training, hit a plateau. What's happened? Their lifestyle and their goals, butt heads. What do? They find a middle ground where they can still weight train 4 times a week, but neck a fucking bottle of rosé at the weekend and go out with the girls. That's living. But the fitness industry profiteer on getting you to think you need to be in the shithouse zone. Men's health covers, physiques, six packs, TikTok. These motherfuckers will be hungry for 12 weeks for a photo. They will give up all their happiness for 3 fucking months. just to get a vein in their stomach. When I think of body positivity, I do not think of very, very big people in bikinis. I think about setting a new pinnacle peak of aiming here instead. You need to ask yourself, are you doing the most you can with your sleep? Is there something you could do to optimize it? Maybe get an eye mask, maybe get a decent mattress, cool. Nutrition, does your diet have to be perfect? No, but it could have more vegetables.
Input.
Could hit a protein target.
Input.
Could eat less takeout.
Input.
Your training doesn't need to be perfect and every fucking day to undulating periodization done by the smartest man on the planet. No, but you could at least follow a fucking program. You could at least hit your damn workouts. We don't want to live a suboptimal life within any realms of whatever we do, whether relationships, no one wants a suboptimal relationship, no one wants a suboptimal job, no one wants a suboptimal performance, but what we certainly don't fucking want is to be optimal in everything, because then you end up being a broccoli wielding fucking boring ball bag who fucking carries around Tupperware of chicken and broccoli as a fucking bellend and thinks it's normal. You don't want that. And the better and faster you can appreciate, fuck that fully optimal life, the better you can get into bed with the idea of just optimizing all the things in your life you can to the best of your ability and then getting the fuck on with it. And if you don't agree with that, enjoy your plain fucking chicken and broccoli for lunch, you boring cunt.
I told you, he's pretty much a straight shooter. I swear, if Guy Ritchie ever needs a personal trainer in one of his movies, there you go. There's something about a British accent. It just makes swearing more appealing. I don't know. They just do it better than we do. With the exception of Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers is probably the best swearing, definitely the most prolific swearing athlete of all time, or, you know, fake athlete. But James gives him a run for his money. But anyway, there you go. Here's the deal. What James said is absolutely right. Don't strive for perfection. Don't strive for this perfect optimization, because if you do, you're going to do it at the sake of, at the expense of a great and happy life. There are going to be times when you want to show up to the birthday or anniversary dinner and just crush a big steak and cake, and yes, order the dessert. You know, if you're someone who is like me, I don't drink alcohol at all. But if I were someone who wanted to, if that was, you know, if I were going to have a glass of wine every now and then, if that's something I really enjoyed, then live your life. Don't make perfection the absolute end-all be-all, because you will just be miserable trying to be there. Instead, focus on those inputs, get a little better each and every day, that 1% improvement each and every day. Turn those inputs into natural behaviors. When it becomes drudgery, like James said, when it butts up against your goals and your life come into conflict, that's where willpower comes into control. And you know, willpower, that leads to a battle within, and you're just more likely to collapse, and you're just not going to enjoy life. So well done, James Smith. That was a great message. I hope you enjoyed that. Hey, do me a favor. Would you please consider clicking subscribe on this? I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. Also, listen to the Jason Wright Show. It's like I said earlier, the motto is to improve always in all ways. I would be so grateful. And then one final ask: go out to jasonwrightnow.com and subscribe to my newsletter, the Vitruvian Letter. I would really, really appreciate that. This is just where I kind of encapsulate all the things I'm working on, I'm researching to try to deploy into my life to do that actual improvement always and always. And I would really, really be grateful if you did that. So with that, keep trucking. Thanks.